It's long overdue, but it's about time that slaves who built this country receive proper recognition and acknowledgement. And that's exactly what is in the works at Rutgers University. I headed to the New Brunswick campus to see for myself the buildings the university is voting on renaming after slaves. The Rutgers Board of Governors will vote on the changes Wednesday and isn't speaking on it until then. But I took matters into my own hands and wanted to get a feel from students how they felt about paying tribute to slaves. I headed out with homemade signs that I made with the potential new names for the buildings, and the first place for consideration is called Old Queen's Walkway. It's right by the main administration building, and they are thinking of renaming it to Will's Walkway after a slave who built the building's foundation. It's a very old building.
I think it would be appropriate for the university to change some of the names just to sort of accommodate that history.
If you're trying to, give credit to them, or just like everyone that was involved, I would say maybe, like I said, like a memorial type of thing, like statues, stuff like that.
Now, Rutgers is considering changing the College Avenue apartments to the Sojourner Truth Apartments, who happen to be originally owned by the father of Rutgers' first president. And lastly, the Kilmer Library on the Piscataway campus, they are considering renaming the James Dickson Carr Library after the university's first African-American graduate who graduated in 1892.
Black Americans and minorities, black and brown, minorities all over the country really need it. They really need people to stand up for them specifically, because the way these things going on nowadays are not going down a good path, I would say.
What about Rutgers dealing with the wasted tens of millions of taxpayer dollars? What about the in-state tuition that is unaffordable to most people who live across this state? They are paying lip service to something because they're guilty, and they haven't fixed anything that's wrong with that university. Bob Barchi has acted as a disgrace, if you ask me, over the past few years, and instead of fixing real problems, they're like, oh, we can just put a label on something and make people feel good. It's embarrassing.
You know what? People will feel better when Black History Month isn't addressed as slavery forward. What happened before slavery? Are there stories that need to become more mainstream that aren't being acknowledged? That is what I think that the university should do.
Brian?
So they did a huge study at Rutgers recently to find out about the history of slaves in the university. I think it's great that they're taking some action and doing that. But again, you bring up like the football stadium. It's hard for me to look at Rutgers and just not wonder why they're spending so much money on football programs. Name the stadium after Will.
So Rutgers is off to a start to apologize for the past. When do you think the Democratic Party is going to rename their headquarters to apologize finally for voting against the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment?
This is Bill's never forget, apparently.
Any apology there?
I'm pretty sure
no?
Donald Trump
Democrats
will
don't want to own up to
the
that?
Republican Party very soon,
Right.
Bill.
Thanks, Ashley.
The Rutgers Board of Governors voted to approve all three name changes Wednesday. The university chancellor says, we thought it was important to show the university is being responsive to this part of our history.